Meet this incredible woman named Regina Burton. Looking at her gorgeous figure and energy, it's hard to believe, but she'll turn 70 next year. Despite her advanced age, she continues to lead an active lifestyle and breaks all stereotypes about aging by her example, proving that age is just a number. Would you like to learn more about her youthful secrets? Then watch this video to the end. Today we will tell you about the principles and rules that she has been following for many years. So, let's get started. One of the key elements of her lifestyle is constant movement throughout the day. And it's not just about walking once a week. Regina spends a lot of her time outdoors, walking, swimming, exploring new places. It's not about getting some air, it's about systemic oxygen saturation of the body. Fresh air improves the functioning of mitochondria, the very power plants of cells. The better the mitochondria work, the slower aging. Practical advice: start with a simple one, at least 60 to 90 minutes outside every day. Not on the phone, not with headphones, but with conscious presence. Even if you live in a city, find a park or a green area and make it a habit. A separate part of her life is the ocean. She likes to spend time by the water and swims regularly. It's not just a pleasant hobby, it's a powerful rejuvenation tool. Swimming is the only physical activity that simultaneously loads muscles, joints, and the cardiovascular system without destroying them. Plus, water has a lymphatic drainage effect. It helps to remove excess fluid and toxins. If you don't have an ocean nearby, a swimming pool will do. But it is important not just to splash around, but to swim for at least 20 to 30 minutes at a moderate pace 2 to 3 times a week. The next unexpected moment is that Regina follows fashion trends. At first glance, it seems superficial, but in fact, it is a powerful psychological tool. When a person follows the style, he remains included in the modern world. This prevents the so-called psychological aging when a person stops being interested in new things. Practice. You don't have to buy expensive clothes. It is enough to update at least one detail of the wardrobe once a season, which makes you more modern. This directly affects the sense of self and therefore the biochemistry of the body. A very important element is her thinking. Regina consciously chooses a positive perception of life. But this is not about rose-colored glasses. It's about the attention management skill. She doesn't get hung up on negativity. She doesn't go through problems endlessly. The fact is that chronic stress is one of the main accelerators of aging. It increases cortisol levels, destroys collagen, and impairs the immune system. A practical tip: start tracking what you think about during the day. If you find yourself in a negative spiral, switch to action. Walking, physical activity, or even simple breathing according to the 4 to 6 pattern. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6. Regina travels a lot. And it's not just about beautiful photos. Traveling is a powerful stimulus for the brain. New environments, new routes, new people. All this creates neural connections. And the more such connections there are, the longer the brain stays young. This is directly related to the prevention of age-related cognitive impairment. Important: it is not necessary to fly to another continent. Even a trip to a nearby city where you've never been before is already working. The main thing is the element of novelty. Another important point is that she communicates with like-minded people. This is a critically important longevity factor that is often underestimated. Social isolation increases the risk of premature death more than smoking. When you communicate with people who share your interests and values, you get emotional boost, reduce stress levels, and even improve your hormones. Now, about the appearance, Regina takes care of herself, but she does it without fanaticism. She uses light everyday makeup, not to hide her age, but to emphasize her naturalness. This is an important psychological point. She doesn't struggle with age, she works with it. This approach reduces internal stress and improves self-esteem. Practical advice: instead of aggressive treatments, focus on basic care, moisturizing, sun protection, and gentle cleansing. This gives a much more stable effect. And here's the key thing that unites everything: her attitude to age. Regina accepts her age. He does not ignore it, does not deny it, but understands it. Paradoxically, it is adoption that slows down aging. When a person stops fighting with himself, the body comes out of a state of chronic stress. This affects everything from the skin to hormonal balance. Practice. Stop comparing yourself to others. Compare yourself only with yesterday's self. It is also interesting that Regina is not trying to appear young. She just lives actively, and this creates the very rejuvenation effect. Another detail is that her activity is not episodic, but regular. She doesn't get into the right lifestyle, she lives in it. This is a fundamental difference. Most people act on the principle of jerks. A month of sports, then a break. This approach does not work. Regina has built healthy habits into her identity. Tip: don't try to change everything at once. Choose one habit, for example, a daily walk, and consolidate it for 30 days. Only then add the next one. Another important principle is diversity. Her life is not monotonous. Today it's a walk, tomorrow it's a trip, then a meeting with friends. This creates a feeling of fullness of life, which directly affects the level of dopamine, the hormone of motivation and pleasure. And dopamine, in turn, affects energy levels and even appearance. If you put everything together, you get a simple but powerful system. Movement, fresh air, water, new experiences, social connections, self-care, and healthy thinking. These are not secrets from closed clubs. These are tools available to everyone. But the key is to use them regularly. Start implementing at least one of them today. And in a year, you will be surprised at the changes not only in appearance, but also in self-awareness. Friends, what do you think of this woman? Write your opinion in the comments. If this video was useful to you, then please like it and share the link with those who might find it particularly useful.